So I started a new business. Over the last 14 months, my business partner and I have been growing a new business from scratch. It's in the B2B space, so we work exclusively with businesses. And in those 14 months of running the business, we haven't taken a single penny of payroll. So basically what I wanted to do was document this whole new journey starting a B2B business, show you guys the ups and downs, how we got started, how we came up with the business idea, the process we went through, starting with literally just $2,000, building it to a team of 15 people, working with hundreds of clients. And yeah, it's been a really fun journey, and hopefully you guys can learn something from this video. Okay, so the business that we started, it's called Paired Recruiting. It is an overseas staffing agency. So basically what we do is we help other businesses find amazing overseas talent, sort of like a traditional recruiting agency, except we focus solely on people in Indonesia and Latin America. And it started when my business partner and I, Jeff, started talking about the tools that we were using within our own businesses. And the number one thing we agreed on was that hiring overseas helped both of our other businesses tremendously. And so one day we were sitting in the hot tub and we were like, we should do this as a business. Too many businesses are paying astronomical amounts of money for US and domestic employees. A ton of that work can actually be outsourced overseas at literally 80 to 90% cost savings. And we just thought it was like a business hack that everyone should be doing. And beyond that, you know, a lot of new businesses, they just are not ready to hire in the US. They literally cannot afford to do it. And so we thought we can help these newer businesses with not the biggest budget, find great people overseas while paying them actually a very, very reasonable wage. So it is a win-win situation. And that way they can grow their businesses faster and start hiring way before they would if it was with US talent. Now, the really amazing thing with these types of service businesses is that it does not take a lot of money to start. So we literally started with $2,000. That $2,000 was just to pay for our initial payroll before we actually had a paying client. And the great thing is that we didn't even need that full $2,000. Our first hire was a project manager, sort of like an assistant that basically helped us out with building out our systems and all that stuff. And then my business partner and I, Jeff, we would basically do all the recruiting. So yeah, the first, half year of the business was really hard. We would spend our days basically building our other businesses that we were already running. So for example, this YouTube channel. And at night, that's when we would start grinding on this new business. So our first initial hires were all from Indonesia. That is where we have had the most luck finding overseas talent for our other businesses. That's where we were like, we want to focus specifically on Indonesia because we really think this is the up and coming Philippines, right? Philippines, great talent there too, but there's this whole culture of finding remote jobs, bouncing from one job to another. Whereas Indonesia, we feel like it's an up and coming Philippines. The rates, the salaries are not as high there. Fewer people are already working overseas jobs. There's an immense pool of talent there, right? Like Indonesia literally has, I think, 180 million people, super hardworking, really smart. And now what we have confirmed to be extremely loyal and dedicated workers. So like I said, we'd spend the days working on our other businesses, sort of brainstorming for Paired. And then at night, that's when we would do all the operations. That's when we would actually find talent for our clients. And it pretty much all started with word of mouth. Our first few clients were just people in our network. We personally know a lot of really successful business owners, and we thought, what better way than to actually find people for our friends, right? Our first handful of clients went extremely well. I think one of our first clients, I think he's hired like 4 or 5 different people from us so far. And he literally told us that this service changed his life. Before, he was running a service business with US talent. His profit margins weren't that high. It was hard to manage them. The talent themselves were not that good. But after using our talent, and this is not meant to just like brag about our service and stuff like that, but after using us, he said it completely changed his business. He's able to take on more clients. And yeah, just hearing that was such a great feeling because it sort of validated our business idea. It told us, hey, there are businesses out there that you can absolutely help a ton. And so from there on, Jeff and I were like, okay, we need to go all in on this business. We think overseas hiring is the next big thing. And we can confidently say that every client we work with should leave with a great new hire. From there on, we knew we had to expand the team since we couldn't literally go through all these resumes ourselves. We started bringing on more and more recruiters. We started finding the right softwares to use. We essentially took the processes and systems we were using within our other businesses and imported them over into Paired. Later on in this video, I'll actually go through our tech stack to show you guys what tools we are using because I'm a huge believer in tools. I think that investing in tools or the right tools has such a massive ROI. But yeah, that is going to be a little bit later on in this video. We hired a web designer to basically build the first iteration of our website. We ended up scrapping that and going with a totally new redesign. We actually used the web design services of one of our clients, and that is the current website we are using today, which we absolutely love. We hired a graphic designer. We hired even more recruiters. And the pivotal moment for us was hiring our head of operations. So something that a lot of people do already is they hire overseas for more basic positions that would cost, maybe $50,000 to $100,000 in the US. Now, we knew that we didn't want someone that was more entry level like that. We want someone with immense experience, 5, 10 plus years building small companies to $100 million of valuation. And so we were able to find just that using our own recruiting funnel. And we brought on our head of operations about 6 months after launching the business. This was a game-changing hire for us because before this, like I said, we were doing all the operations. We were talking to all the clients. We were managing all the recruiters. We were looking through resumes ourselves. It was very, very hands-on. By bringing on our head of operations, we were now able to have him help with a lot of this managing, a lot of the reports with our team, and just essentially making sure that all the fulfillment was handled properly. It's just funny because we used Paired to find our head of operations for Paired, and that was one of the best things we ever did as a company. So yeah, that was another big realization that, the services that we offered, they can absolutely change the trajectory of growth for a company. And we've only been able to grow to where we are today because of him. After that, we really started systemizing our whole process, built out a ton of SOPs, started hiring more recruiters. We started hiring in Latin America as well, since, a good amount of our clients did want to actually have access to talent that was more nearshore rather than offshore. The big difference here is that for nearshore talent, their time zone is pretty close to US time zones. In fact, on the East Coast of the US, it's actually the same time zone as some of Latin America. Whereas for offshore, that's going to be more in Asia, and that is a much bigger time zone difference. So it does work for a ton of roles, but also for some roles, it does not work. And since we were hiring for our clients in a huge variety of different types of roles, we knew that we needed to find people that were closer in their time zone. The past year has been an absolute grind, and even though we haven't paid ourselves a single cent from the business, we know that just continually reinvesting the money into our growth, into our team and all that stuff, that is the way that we know we have to kickstart this business. Okay, so now let's talk about our whole recruitment process and how we are able to find such great talent across the world. We are continually reiterating our process, but we think that what we've come up with has been just absolutely amazing. And it basically just all starts with getting a ton of eyeballs on our job description, our job listing. So it sort of varies depending on what country we hire from, but most of our candidates are going to come somewhere from online, right? It's going to be LinkedIn, it's going to be local job boards, it's going to be social media, it's going to be our own talent pool. Yeah, basically we get a ton of eyeballs on our listings, and with more eyeballs means more potential people that fit that job. I want to reiterate that not every great, let's say, graphic designer candidate is going to be perfect for every single company looking for a graphic designer. It really is a pretty complex matching process, but the odds are, of course, much better when you have a ton of graphic designers seeing that job listing. In addition to that, this is something that a lot of people don't do. It's outreach. A lot of companies only seem to look for people that are actively searching for a job, right? Like the people responding to a LinkedIn ad about a job, a lot of these people don't have a job currently and are, looking for work right now. But what about all the people that already have a job, but would be open to switching if the right opportunity comes? That's basically where outreach comes in. Our recruiters, we do a lot of individual outreach on LinkedIn and other platforms. We have softwares and tools that we use to basically identify people with resumes, and then we'll basically email them, text them, WhatsApp them, send them a LinkedIn message, Instagram, whatever it is to get their attention. A good portion of the talent we actually place come from this type of outreach. And so that is a very integral part of the recruitment process that a lot of people skip out on. It's also very time intensive. So I think that's why a lot of people don't like to do that. But if you're looking for A players only, you're going to need to do that. So after that initial, getting someone to apply for a job phase, that's when the next part of the process starts, which is basically vetting all these resumes, all these cover letters letters and shortlisting the best potential ones. So let's say for a normal job posting, we get 500 people to apply for the job. Well, obviously, most of those people are going to be B, C, D players, and very, very few of them have the potential to become A players, which is only what we want. And so essentially, our team shortlists all the best applicants from that pool of 500 and narrow it down to, let's say, the top 50, the top 10%. This is actually a lot harder than it sounds because you need to know what to look for before actually talking to the applicant. And then once you have that shortlist, the next steps are going to be crucial. So we have software that enables us to do one-way video interviews. So these selected applicants, they're going to go through our video interview process where they answer, let's say, 4 to 8 different questions, and our team reviews all those answers. Parallel to that is the assessment phase, right? This is something that you absolutely cannot skimp out on. Giving out assessments and actually reviewing them, it's not fun. It takes a lot of time and effort, but you need to have some type of real world thing for them to actually do so that you can see if they can do the tasks you want them to do well. For example, if you're hiring a writer, right, you're going to want them to write a 3-page thing. If you're looking for a video editor, you might want them to edit a 1-minute segment based on footage that you have. If you want a developer, you're going to want them to develop some portion of your app or website, whatever it is. Every single client is going to have different assessments, and these assessments are extremely customized for what they are looking for in that talent. So with these video interviews and these assessments, that gives us a ton of info and context about that applicant. And from there on, we can basically narrow it down even further. We'll do actual one-on-one interviews with the talent that make it past that step. This is when they're talking to our recruiting team, we're getting to know them, building a sort of relationship. And then from there on, we are able to properly pick the top 2 or 3 to hand off to our client. Our client is then going to interview them alongside our team, and they'll make the final decision on who to hire. If you made it this far, I do want to say thank you, because recruiting, it's not the sexiest business. It's not that fun, but I think it is so important to understand recruiting for any type of business owner, because one of the biggest things and most important tasks that you as the CEO or whatever are doing is finding the right people. And so understanding this whole recruitment process, doesn't matter if you use Paired or any other agency, these processes are going to help you out in your own internal recruitment as well. Okay, so now let's talk about the tech stack that we currently use. Now, we'll say that we are constantly testing different platforms, different tools, and all that stuff. But right now, our main applicant tracking system is Workable. I will say we are quite happy with it. It's done really well for us. Next, we use ClickUp. So this is going to be where we have all our project management. It's going to be where all our SOPs and systems and processes are stored. It's where we track tasks. So all the task management is through here. It's where we track our clients and all that stuff. We're also using Go High Level alongside ClickUp. This is a very powerful platform that helps us with our funnels. You can do task management, you can do emails, automations, all these things. It's also where we have all of our client leads. Some of the recruiting focused tech tools that we use include HireFlix. This is how we do our one-way video interviews. For assessments, we usually just use Google Drive and email. Communications are all through Slack for our internal team, and then through email with our clients. We use LinkedIn recruiters, so we do a lot of our ads on LinkedIn. We have a very dedicated AI tool that allows us to search resumes and find potential matches for our clients' requirements. For video editing, we use Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro. We use Opus, Submagic, Descript as well. All these tools allow us to be able to pump out a lot of content. And yeah, just a ton of tools. I know I missed a bunch because I just can't think of them right now. And yeah, I know I'm gonna remember some after filming this video, but I think that's a pretty solid list of tech that I covered. And that brings us to how we actually find our clients. So I know I mentioned previously that we do a lot of word of mouth, right? Our friends, our network, this is how we got our first initial clients without any marketing spend. They referred us to people that knew, and that's essentially how we found our first few dozen clients. Beyond that, we are doing a ton of content. So we're doing a YouTube channel that does a lot of educational videos about recruiting and stuff like that. We have an Indonesian YouTube channel that's all Indonesian focused content aimed at candidates. So that's one way we were able to build our candidate pool so fast. We do a lot of short form. We have YouTube hosts that help us with content. And yeah, we're spending a lot of money building out the media side of our business. We also have a job board that we are launching right now. It's called Work From Home Indonesia. That's going to be another way that we can build a great talent pool. We're also experimenting with a lot of different funnels. So for example, we're doing a lot of short form that has some type of call to action saying something like, comment this word word and we'll send you this PDF or something like that. So we're spending a lot of money building these PDFs and lead gen magnets. And from there on, we currently use a tool called Raz to help with all our setting. That's basically taking all these leads, people that want these lead gen magnets, and turning them into actual appointments with our closer. So every client is going to hop on a call before actually deciding to work with us. And getting people on this call is extremely important. Yeah, overall, it's been very fun building this business. It definitely is a competitive field. This is my first B2B business where it's like a service working with other companies. So it definitely is out of my comfort zone. But guys, I have learned so much in the last year. It's been super fun. This is what I'm all about. The whole entrepreneurial journey, the whole building process is what excites me. And that's why I think I've been able to do this for so long without, getting paid a single penny. I think a lot of people, they might want to quit. They might want to not reinvest everything back into the business. But for me, I have my other businesses. I don't need the money and I am way happier, paying our team better, investing into more hires, investing into our media, all that stuff. I really do think that if we keep doing this, it's going to really fast track our growth and position us as one of the most popular overseas staffing companies. Now I'm going to cover some of the important lessons that I've learned building this business, as well as some of the failures. So one of the big things I learned with recruiting is that for any business, their team is the most important thing. The team is what makes everything happen within that business. And without a proper team of A players, it's just really, really hard to do any good work. So team culture is important, showing appreciation for your team. Having this right type of team culture is so crucial. And so one failure that we made in the start was just not appreciating our team enough. Since then, we've taken ways to have a better team culture, paying for team meals, doing reports, check-ins, all that stuff. But yeah, if you run a team, it is so important that everyone on your team is happy and feels fulfilled doing what they are doing. Another big thing is accountability, right? So we've helped a lot of businesses find overseas talent. Some of these people are new business owners and they don't really know how to delegate, which is, completely normal. I was also in that position before. And so for these newer business owners to actually effectively use their talent, it takes a big onboarding period. It takes SOPs and systems. It takes a lot of training. And a lot of people, they don't know how to do this. So we've had to, teach people. And one thing I've learned is that even if you have the right talent, without the right management, without the right leadership, without the right systems, they are not going to flourish. As a founder and CEO of this business, most of my time spent is actually on business development, asking questions like what new systems can we actually implement? How can we get more clients? What marketing things can we test? How can we refine our processes and systems? What new team members do we need to go out and hire to build our business? A lot of stuff like that. And that's why it's so important to have an operator that can actually help you carry out a lot of the day-to-day responsibilities so that you as the owner can focus on the bigger picture and all the growth. A lot of the marketing channels that we have spent a lot of money on, hasn't really panned out too much in terms of bringing in clients, but that's because these are long-term plays, right? For example, a YouTube channel is not going to bring in clients for at least a few months. And so we're constantly testing new things that can help us find more and more immediate clients. And then just as an entrepreneur, I've grown so much. I feel like I've gotten more responsible. I've gotten more mature building this business. We've definitely been through some hardships, just like any other business. We've had clients not pay. We've had internal conflicts, a lot of stuff like that. But yeah, man, it's just been so fun. I would do this for free for the rest of my life if I had to. As long as the business keeps growing, then I feel no need to pay myself from it. My business partner feels the same way. And it feels good creating so many new jobs, right? Like the talent that we place, they always come to us. They are so appreciative that we help them find these job opportunities overseas. Because when you're working locally, it's hard to find high-paying jobs. And that's why it's such a win-win situation, right? The salaries that our talent are being paid, it's extremely high. It's very, very competitive, at least for what they're doing. Whereas on the US or client side, they are still saving so much money. And so you're providing a great remote job from someone in a different country, helping out the client by reducing their payroll, helping them with their margins, and putting people in place that can actually grow their business. It's all just a really good feeling. And I know overseas hiring gets sort of a bad rep sometimes, but you have to understand that not every job we place is replacing a US worker. In fact, most of our clients, they're not firing their US workers and replacing them with someone overseas. They're getting overseas people in addition so that they can grow their business way faster. I'm extremely bullish on anything related to an international workforce. That's why most of the people in all of my businesses are overseas. We do, of course, have some select local people, but a good majority is actually overseas. So yeah, that's basically what I want to talk about for this video. I know I didn't talk too much about our offer or like the whole pricing and how the business works and all that stuff. If you guys are interested, of course, you can reach out, but I didn't want to make this video about bringing more clients. I wanted to make this video about documenting this business, how we grew it, the tools we use, how we went from 0 to 15 people with just under $2,000. And it should show you guys that yes, you can build a business without spending an exorbitant amount of money on startup costs. There are hundreds of thousands of business types that you can start with not that much money. And yeah, services like Paired are a great example of a business that doesn't take venture funding, doesn't take outside investor money. It's all bootstrapped by two founders with a mission who have not taken a single cent of payroll. And yeah, hopefully you guys learned something from this video. If you got any value from this video, I really encourage you guys, please help out, give this video a like, subscribe for more content just like this, because I make a ton of videos about personal finance, entrepreneurship, and investing. We're gonna keep building in public for this new business. I'm gonna make more videos about it, share with you guys the failures, the lessons learned, what works, what doesn't work. And yeah, thank you so much for your time again, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.